Pashko, and a recent transplant to the Rogue Valley in 2013 after visiting here for 20 years. I knew I wanted to retire here. I worked for Southern California Gas Company for almost 34 years in a variety of capacities: public affairs, human resources, marketing, and customer service. Did a little bit of teaching at the secondary level and worked for a food company before going to the gas company. I joined in September of 2013. I had just moved here in May of that year. And I had looked into OLLI when I still lived in Southern California, but timing wasn't good to join there, and I knew there was an OLLI at SOU. So as soon as I got settled, I looked into joining, and the rest is history. It's been a great ride for the last 5 years. Interestingly enough, I raised my hand very early, and my good friend, and good friend to many, Ann Valegia, said, "Oh, I've got a deal for you." There's this committee that needs a committee chair, communications and community outreach. And I had chaired a lot of committees and been board chairs of a variety of nonprofits in my work life. So I said, I'd be glad to do that. And I did that for about 4 years, and then took an appointment on the council soon after that chairmanship, and then have been on the council, or reran, I should say, for another 3-year term last year. Well, I had been very involved as a committee chair, and I do think that having that background really helps to be an effective leader in this organization. It's kind of like the next step, and I think once you start projects, you like to see them to fruition, and the council's allowed me to do that, and which I appreciate. The OLLI Council has 9 members, and we each a group of 3 rotates off every 3 years. We're really the policy-making part of the organization. We adopted the OLLI strategic plan, we call it OLLI 2020, in March of 2016. And that really is the, I like to think of it as the blueprint for the organization over the next 5 years. And we'll reinitiate another strategic plan. So that really is what the council is about, the broader, longer range planning and policy development. That we are a member-driven organization, and we rely on volunteers to really carry out our programs. And of course, we have fabulous volunteer instructors. We have fabulous volunteers that take care of committee work, as well as some of the one-shot kinds of volunteer responsibilities. When you say member-run, it really means everybody has a role in the success of the organization. Our staff is small. They do kind of the day-to-day support to all of our membership, but the members are really key to the success of the organization because we're all volunteers. Well, growth is one. You know, we started out in 1993 with 106 members, the predecessor to OLLI being SOLIR, Southern Oregon Learning and Retirement, and now we're almost close, 25 years later, we're almost at 2,000 members. So with growth comes some challenges. It takes greater planning, and it takes some additional resource. It just takes more oversight than compared to the days when there were only 106, members. So growth is something we've got to manage, and we have to manage it well. So there's continued satisfaction with our program. Well, you would almost think that maybe we would be outgrowing our facility here at Campbell Center. But when we did the strategic plan, there was a great study done on the utilization of our facility, our 5 classrooms here, as well as even in Medford. And it was really determined that we are underutilized in the space. So we don't, even though we're growing, we're still able to accommodate the number of courses and the number of people who want to take those courses. So that's not a problem as far as outgrowing a facility and having to move or build another facility. But growth just takes more oversight in the sense that when you're a smaller organization, it's maybe easier to communicate and get feedback from members. But I think we're still doing a good job of managing these almost 2,000 members through technology and communicating through member surveys, through town hall meetings. You just have to adjust, I think, how you deal with that number versus a smaller number. Well, you know, I'm pleased to say we had, I think, 126 courses this spring term 2018. That number continues to kind of stay at that level or grow a little bit each term. Of late, I think because of the reputation of OLLI and the awareness of the kinds of programs and classes that we offer here, people want to be a part of a successful operation, and so I think we're getting plenty of people who would like to teach here, and I think that's going to continue, and we're going to have sufficient courses to meet our, you know, members' demands. I'm going to knock on wood on that. In the early days, community lectures were established, and we actually did them weekly, because we didn't have as robust a curriculum. We didn't have as many courses as we do today. So that's evolved over some time, but the intent of the lectures was to boost the curriculum initially, but also allow the community to be aware of OLLI, find out again the caliber of our program, and really be a community service. Today, we offer just 6 lectures because we have so many courses, but it's still an opportunity to get our name out there in the newspaper, in other media, to let them know that OLLI, again, is a relevant organization serving the older adults in the Rogue Valley and providing both enrichment as well as important social connections. And the lectures are just one way among the many other ways that we try to communicate our value and inform people along the way. We're doing this major renovation of Campbell Center. This is an old facility. It's been updated along the way, but members have told us that we need to do some things different in our classrooms. And so that renovation is underway. We'll be raising funds to make it happen, and by, I think, spring of 2020, you'll see a very new and improved Campbell Center. So that's immediate future. A few years from now, I hope to see more classes in Medford. There is a demand and certainly a great potential of membership in the Rogue Valley, that part of the Rogue Valley. I'd love to see more classes taught by SOU and RCC, Rogue Community College instructors. I think we're going to see a younger membership. OLLIs across the nation on average, the membership is 65, you know, and above. I think with the baby boomer, you know, explosion we're having, I think we're going to have a little younger member in OLLI, and that may trigger some differences. And I think we're going to see more diversity in our membership as well. Exploring some intergenerational programs with SOU students. As you know, a lot of them come from other states or they come from other countries and they don't have a family here. So I think OLLI members could provide that, you know, familial support. And you'll see this trend in other parts of the country where the universities and colleges are building housing. So there's some intergenerational housing occurring, you know, on college campuses. I think the potential of OLLI members mentoring, coaching, students is great. And certainly we have a lot of experience to share, and I think they have an interest in learning from us. I'd love to see that happen. A travel program, OLLIs across the country, coordinate with agencies that help put together trips, either international or domestic trips. I think our members, at least those that I know well, they love to travel and you learn, and it's lifelong learning, so I'd love to see us engage in a travel program. A computer lab. Technology is here to stay, and having the opportunity to have an actual facility within OLLI to keep abreast of new technology, I think that would be, fabulous. Online courses. There's several people that would love to see that happen, and that really extends our reach into the community. I think we have to be very directed and focused on creating a program to make that happen. It is actually in our strategic plan. We haven't gotten there yet, but there are other OLLIs that do a program called Sage Seekers, which I love that name actually, because we have a lot of sage advice, to give. You'd have to just be very purposeful in developing a program with SOU to get students engaged with us. And I think coaching and mentoring, or even starting small with this, we've had this discussion about around the holidays, for example, when these students aren't going home, having them into our homes. Little things like that I think could start and blossom into more, I guess I would call structured programs, a mentoring kind of affair. But it does take some leadership to get that done. I think there's an interest. I think there could be an interest. We just need to explore it and get a plan, developed. I think continuing to maintain the caliber of program that we currently offer, being vigilant in ensuring that our members have good satisfaction with the courses we teach, the instructors that provide them, that we listen to their feedback when we get it through our annual member survey. And I think the Campbell Center renovation is probably a great example. Year after year that we've been doing this survey, everybody said, we can't see the screens for films, or the chairs are very hard to see above or see the instructor. So we listen to that feedback and we're making changes. So I think we've got to continue to be really relevant and anticipate members' needs and be responsive to them. I think it's positive. We're continuing to expand that. We're working with the SOUF, the foundation, currently in this fundraising effort for the Campbell Center renovation. Within the last few years, we have instituted some courses within our curriculum where SOU instructors are coming in and doing a series, and those have been very popular. Periodically, we'll have some meetings with SOU instructors to determine, what's on their horizon, how that might fit within our curriculum, what we ought to be thinking about relative to our curriculum. I think the relationship's good, and I think there's lots of potential to enhance it. I think being available and communicating as much as possible. I personally, and I know a lot of our members evaluate scholarship applications. We judge some of the, for example, the SOAR competition that they have every year. We've been involved in that. I think extending our hand to SOU and they doing likewise only can build bridges, and I think once you understand each other's operations better, it just builds connections that serve both entities really well. OLLI is an educational program for adults 50 plus, although really anybody can come to our courses. It's intended to provide enrichment as well as social connections, and we keep our fees very low for the program, which is enticing to people. And our tagline is "Come for the classes, stay for the connections." We're really about making, I think, retirement a good and positive thing for older adults in the Rogue Valley. I love that question. I would encourage people to come and try us out. I mean, even attend a lecture that we do, get a feel for the caliber of that program. I might inquire of their interest in teaching a class before they even become a member, to become more acquainted with the organization. We do every spring offer a reduced membership, and that allows them to have one term for $75 versus the $125 annual membership. Come and try us out. Take a few classes, evaluate that, and I think they'd be sold very easily, actually. I'd just like to say I'm really privileged to be the council president in this 25th anniversary year. When you look back at the leadership that has guided this organization over this first quarter century, I'm always impressed with the caliber and dedication of the leadership. The current council, and I know past council members, have really, again, I think, developed the legacy that we enjoy in this organization. And we've got over 500 plus volunteers today. People are committed to OLLI and love to learn. And I'm really pleased to be able to be a part of this and contribute in some small way. I think we are a great community asset, and I think our both Ashland and Medford and all the other cities that we have members coming from hopefully recognize that. So here's to another 25 successful years.